So welcome back. Now we're going to set up Active Directory domain controller, and let's get into it straight away. Go into our little VM here. So remember, last time we installed Windows 2016 on Hyper-V using an ISO. Quite a simple process. Now we'll get into, say, we've got the first thing that we see in the mornings is it's just over here. So we select Windows there, and we'll go to Server Manager. What we need to do is we need to go into Tools, Manage, Add Roles and Features. Click on Next. Next again. You'll notice that we've got an IP address here, and the computer name is not what we're looking for. The IP address, I got it from a DHCP server at home, my home network. Okay, I've set it up in a way where this can't interfere with my personal network. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that. I need to do a couple of housekeeping. So close the Server Manager dashboard, and let's give it a static IP address first, and then we're going to change the computer name, which means that we'll have to restart this computer as well. Go to Open Network and Sharing, change adapter, right-click Ethernet. I know I might be going a bit too fast, but this is basic stuff. But you can always slow down and go back into it if you like. All right, so I'm just going to give it an IP address of, say, I don't know, maybe 5. Subnet mask 255.255.255. For the purpose of the demonstration for this series that I'm developing here, this is not going to be that important. I don't want to connect to the internet just yet. 127, I'm going to make the DNS server the computer here, because Active Directory needs DNS to operate. It's absolutely crucial. So the DNS server is actually going to be the same machine, which is quite common. Okay that again. Make sure you okay that the second time. We'll go into command and run the IP config command just to make sure that that's taken hold. Again, I know that I'm going really fast, but I'm expecting that most of you know this already. Again, that ugly computer name there that we've got randomly generated, we're going to fix that shortly. But this is what we're looking for. It's the IP address. And we can tell that it's static. And we can see that the DNS server is home, is the loopback address. That just means that this is where I'm supposed to be. The server that I'm operating, that's where the DNS server is. Okay, so let's jump out of that. So that's good. Now let's fix that in the computer name, because that's a horrible name that we need to fix. So we'll right-click the Windows. We'll go into System. Now it might be different on your servers if you've updated it lately, or if you're working on Windows 2019 or 2022. But with Windows 2016, without any patches, without any updates, this is what it might look like. Go to Change Settings, go to Change, and I'm just going to call it Harry DC, because I'm not very creative when it comes to names. For now, I'm going to leave it as workgroup, just for now. We're going to promote this to a domain controller, and it won't be a workgroup anymore. Click on OK, and we have to restart this computer now. And click Close, and we're going to restart. This restart shouldn't take very long at all. We'll wait for a few seconds. This is quite normal. We're going to restart Windows 2010 and Windows 2016 is very, very, very quick. Loading. Password. Great. Now you'll notice down below that I don't have internet connection anymore, because I've given it a static connection. I won't be able to connect to the internet now. But we don't need the internet for this series of Windows Active Directory tasks that I'm going to show you all. That's fine. Let's just close. No, that shouldn't. We don't need to close. We'll go to manage. We'll go to add roles and features. So this is where we were at before. Going to next it. Now that's better. Now we're talking. The name is better, and I've called it Harry DC domain controller because when you're naming your servers, even though it's not going to affect the actual performance or actually do anything amazing, but this is important for people. We need to know which server we're on. The IP address is corrected now. Servers, especially the domain controller, especially DNS and DHCP servers, these three type of servers, absolutely essential they have static IP address. There's no way of saying, there's no way of exaggerating this further. You need to have static addresses for this to work. Next, and now we need to select the actual role that we want. So we're going to go to Active Directory Domain Services right there. Now, do not select on DNS server just yet. There will be an opportunity later to do this. Okay, but not here. Leave it as Active Directory Domain Service for now. We'll next it again, and we'll just install this. And this shouldn't take too long, should take a couple of minutes. I might pause the video for a bit, for maybe a minute or so. Alright, so that was pretty quick. Now we're going to close this. We're not done. We've installed Active Directory, but we haven't promoted this to a domain controller. And we're going to do that now. There's a flag up here, and it's an exclamation mark. We'll have to click that. And then we click on Promote this server to a domain controller. Okay, now for those interested in setting up a new domain controller, you're gonna have to start with adding a new forest, even if it's just the one machine that you're going to play with. I'm going to give it a root domain. I'm going to call it the harry.com domain after yours truly. Microsoft like to do it contoso.com or fabricam.com. You can use anything you like in a lab environment, but production environment you're going to have a domain like a website domain, but for lab purposes you can choose anything you like. I'm going to next that. Then we've got the forest functional level. So Windows. So this is our first machine. We don't have Windows 12 anywhere, so we'll leave it as 2016. Domain name system. This is where we're going to now install Windows Windows domain name server. This is where it's going to be done. We'll put in a password for the directory services restore mode, just in case something bad happens. We can restore this later on if we need to. I'm just going to put password as that. Now it says a delegation for this DNS server cannot be created because we can't find the DNS. Well, there is no DNS. That's why you're getting an error message. We're just going to leave this because we're going to set up a DNS on this server from scratch. NetBIOS again. It's we're just going to wait a little bit longer for this. This is just Harry DC back in the Windows 98 days when NetBIOS was used to identify servers or computer names, but that's ancient history now. It's 20 years old. So the NetBIOS domain name is already used. I must have what I might do is I just call it Harry. It's not important. This is truly not a big deal. Okay, so there's a database folders, sysvolume folders, log files folders. I'm going to next that. Now this is really cool. This section I want to show you now. View scripts. If you want to do this in PowerShell, we just copy this, right click, and save it somewhere. Probably a bit, maybe because the virtual environment might be a bit difficult, but if you had connected to the internet, you could send this to yourself. But this is the whole PowerShell script for doing this. So I've spent like how long it's been, like 10 minutes now, going through this process. If I did this in PowerShell, we'd be up and running. Like the whole process of getting to the stage where I've been showing you, like 30 seconds. We still have to wait for this to be set up, but I thought, this is pretty cool. So we'll close that, click on next, and it's just going to go through prerequisites to making sure that you've got everything, that this installation has everything it needs. So we'll wait for this a little bit longer. Don't worry about all these error messages. We'll click install, and this should take a bit of time, a little bit of a while. So I'm going to pause this video and wait for this to finish. And what will happen? This will restart, and it shouldn't take more than, if it's taking more than 15 minutes, maybe be concerned, but it depends. It really does depend. I've seen it take 20 minutes, and I've seen it take 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so I'll pause the video and we'll talk to you shortly. So that actually took a little bit longer than I thought. I waited for about 7-8 minutes, but that's okay. That's all. That's usual. But I was hoping it would be much quicker than that. But anyway, we thanks to the magic of pausing video, you didn't have to wait that long. So this is now a domain controller. This has now been promoted. So let's check to see what that looks like now. Nothing on the flag there. No more tasks. We can go into tools, and we can see Active Directory users and computers. We can see group policy management. So this is now a domain controller. In the next video, we're actually going to have a look at the Active Directory users and computers, where we're going to create users. We're going to create some groups, organizational units, etc. But thank you for viewing, and I'll see you shortly.